Welcome to Daily News Simplified, an answer to what, why, and how of newspaper reading. Today, I'll discuss New Delhi edition of the Hindu newspaper dated 16th December 2017. Let's begin. Now, on page number 1, there are two news. One, it relates to cabinet nod for bill making instant triple talaq a crime, and the other news which relates to Aadhaar. Both these news have been also covered on page number 8. So let's see the first news with respect to triple talaq. Now on page number 1, this news about triple talaq has also been extended on page number 8, which says cabinet nod for bill on instant triple talaq. Here in this news, the Union Cabinet has cleared Muslim women protection of rights on marriage bill. This bill makes the practice of instant triple talaq a cognizable as well as non-bailable criminal offence. Cognizable means that any police officer can arrest without warrant. Cognizable offences are generally associated with serious offences like murder, rape, kidnapping, etc. So this bill has made this concept of instant triple talaq a cognizable as well as non-bailable offence. And for this, both fine as well as imprisonment up to 3 years have been proposed. Now this draft bill has been prepared in the backdrop of recent Supreme Court judgment on triple talaq, where the Supreme Court effectively banned this concept of triple talaq, stating that this was not integral to Islam, and moreover, it also violated the concept of right to equality. So, how this violated right to equality? Let's understand the concept of triple talaq. In triple talaq, a married Muslim man could have divorced his wife instantly by pronouncing the word talaq 3 times, and by doing so it amounted to instant divorce. Now this was violative of not only right to equality but also made discrimination against women, as it did not allow them an opportunity to hear their cause, and effectively was also against the very tenets of rule of law. Thus, Supreme Court in a judgment declared this practice of instant triple divorce as illegal. It is in this respect that the Union Cabinet has cleared the proposed bill. As per the proposed bill, the victim of such instant divorce or triple talaq can seek maintenance as well as custody of her minor children. And this proposed bill was also sent to various states so as to get their opinion on the proposed bill. This bill will be introduced in the upcoming winter session of the Parliament. So this news is important with respect to rights of women and Muslim women in particular, as well as the right to equality or gender justice. So let's see, when the bill comes in the winter session, what does the bill exactly contain? Now let's move on to the next news. Moving on to the next news, on same page number 1, it reads link Aadhaar bank account by March 31. And the same news has also been covered on page number 8. And the news on page number 8 is same, link Aadhaar to bank account before March 31. So in this news, as we all know, a 5-judge constitution bench is hearing the matter with respect to the constitutionality of Aadhaar. And there are various issues which have been clubbed together which the Supreme Court will hear in time to come. So let's see what Supreme Court has observed during the process of hearing. It says that if a person has to open a new account in a bank, then he has to furnish details with respect to Aadhaar. Hence, furnishing Aadhaar for opening of a new bank account has become mandatory as of now. And if the person does not have an Aadhaar, then he must provide a proof to the bank that he has applied for Aadhaar. Thus, as of now, we must submit our Aadhaar details to our banks, or if we want to open a new account, then Aadhaar must be submitted as a requisite for opening of a new bank account. And with this respect, the court has extended the deadline till March 31 to complete the linkage of Aadhaar with that of bank account. The Constitution Bench has also extended the deadline to link mobile phones with Aadhaar. Earlier, the date was till 6th February 2018. Now, this date has been extended to March 31st, 2018. The Constitution Bench has also extended the same deadline till March 31st for linking of Aadhaar to various subsidies, benefits, or services if one gets these through the Government of India. Thus, the Constitution Bench has extended the deadline of linking of these benefits, subsidies, or services till March 31st. This has been done so that the basic facilities are provided to citizens and non-holding of Aadhaar does not become an intrusion in getting these basic facilities. The court has also said that this decision of extension of date for these subsidies, benefits, or services should be conveyed to the various state governments so that people on ground are not denied any benefit just because of the fact of non having an Aadhaar card. This has also been done considering the recent deaths which occurred in the state of Jharkhand due to non-availability of Aadhaar card. With this respect, court has also held that section 139AA of Income Tax Act, which mandates linking of Aadhaar to income tax returns, that is linking of Aadhaar to the filing of income tax returns as mandatory. It has upheld the legality of section 139AA of the Income Tax Act, and as of now mandatorily income tax returns has to be linked with Aadhaar. However, this Constitution Bench is yet to decide on number of issues primarily related to the constitutionality of Aadhaar, and in this respect Justice Chandrachud has said that after the coming of decision on right to privacy, it becomes imperative for the Constitution Bench to decide the matter of Aadhaar with respect to its privacy and various other issues associated with it in the writ petitions as early as possible. Now, this news is in a transition nature because the matter is still sub judice and the court will give the final judgment around January 2018. So let's see till then what does the Supreme Court has to say on the validity or the constitutionality of Aadhaar. Now, with respect to Aadhaar, all these deadlines becomes important because it helps us to understand as to what are the various subsidies, benefits, services or other schemes for which Aadhaar as of now has been made mandatory. This concept becomes important from exam point of view. Let's move on to the next news. Now we move to page number 5. Here the news reads, NGT once again bans plastic use in Haridwar, Rishikesh to save Ganga. Now, this news is about saving Ganga by restriction of use of plastics or plastic bags in the city of Haridwar and Rishikesh. Now, why this order becomes important? This order has been given by the National Green Tribunal. Let's see what the order specifically says. It says all plastic items, including plastic bags as well as cutleries, have been banned in the city of Rishikesh and Haridwar. The order also says that sale, manufacture and storage of all these plastic bags or plastic items have also been banned till Uttarakashi. Thus, NGT through its order has tried to prevent throwing of plastic items into the river. Now, why this order is important? Let us understand. Now, why they have banned plastics? Now, this ban would also be applicable in towns in Uttarakhand along the river Ganga. So, this plastic ban has been enforced along the river Ganga and as well as along its tributaries. And in case someone is throwing those plastic bags, the NGT in its order has also imposed a penalty of rupees 5,000 for those violating such order. The NGT has said that action should also be taken against erring officials who are not able to implement such ban. This is an important order from NGT to save River Ganga. Now let us understand why NGT has banned plastics. First of all, it's non-biodegradable or it cannot be broken further into its organic constituents. It adversely affects wildlife as well as marine species, Ganga dolphins and river turtles. Plastics led to clogging of rivers and also affect the aesthetics. This also leads to problem with drainage issues. Thus, NGT has banned plastics along the banks of River Ganga till Uttarakashi. NGT had also given a previous order in the year 2015 and this order is in continuation of such order as that order was not properly implemented. Thus, in this order, the NGT has also said to take action against those officials who do not implement such ban. Now let us understand some few basic points about NGT, which is important from an exam point of view. It fulfills the mandate of Article 21 under right to life and healthy environment, as a healthy environment is also one of the important facets of right to life and personal liberty. NGT is an exclusive tribunal to adjudicate issues related to environment. It was set up in the year 2010 through the NGT Act, and it works on the principle of natural justice and does not follow the Code of Civil Procedure. Now, NGT helps in effective and expeditious disposal of cases relating to environment. It helps in protection and conservation of forest and other natural resources. Earlier, the NGT bench comprised of two people, one having judicial expertise and one having expertise in a particular area. But now, after a recent amendment, NGT can also be held by one person. Now, there's another news on same page number 5 with respect to cleaning of Ganga. It reads Kanpur to get effluent treatment plan. Now, let's understand this news with respect to National Mission for Clean Ganga. This National Mission for Clean Ganga has been under the Ministry of Water Resources, River Development and Ganga Regeneration. National Mission for Clean Ganga is an implementation arm of National Ganga River Basin Authority. Now this National Ganga River Basin Authority was constituted under the Environment Protection Act 1986. However, this National Ganga River Basin Authority as of now has been replaced with National Council of Ganga. National Council for Ganga. The aim of this mission is to clean River Ganga and its tributary. With this respect, the Namami Gange program has been integrated with the River Conservation Mission as approved by the government since June 2014, and it mainly accomplishes abatement of pollution and conservation and regulation of River Ganga. Before this Namami Gange program, government has approved Ganga Action Plan in two phases, phase 1 and phase 2. But because of non-implementation of Ganga Action Plan, the government has approved Namami Gange program from June 2014. This topic becomes important from prelims as well as mains point of view. Various questions can be asked with respect to National Mission for Clean Ganga, Namami Gange program, or even Ganga Action Plan, which has recently been scrapped by the Government of India. So let's move on to the next news. Now we move on to the next news. It's on same page, page number 5. It reads, Ken-Betwa project may see delay, cost escalation. Now, this Ken-Betwa interlinking is an important issue from your prelims as well as mains point of view. So let us understand few basic points before going through with this news. As you can see in this map, the two rivers, one is Ken and Betwa, and this provides the interlinkage between these two rivers through a canal. So let's see the basic facts first. This project aims to connect River Ken, which is in Madhya Pradesh, with that of River Betwa, which is in Uttar Pradesh. Now this scheme was India's first river interlinkage project and was divided into two phases, that is phase 1 as well as phase 2. And this interlinking plan of Ken and Betwa was perceived as a model plan for similar interstate river transfer missions. As of now, the Union Ministry of Water Resources is planning to integrate these two plans as it was also proposed by the state government of Madhya Pradesh. So let us understand this Ken-Betwa interlinking project and issues associated with it and why this project may see delay or cost escalation. Let's understand. Now why this project is important? This project is important because it transfers the surplus water in this region to water deficient area around this region, which is also the region of Bundelkhand. Thus, it transfers extra water of River Ken to drought region of Bundelkhand. As mentioned earlier, this project comprised of two phases, that is phase 1 and phase 2. And in this phase 1, building of Dodhan Dam was an essential requirement. This dam was 77 meter tall and 2 kilometer wide, and through this dam a 230 kilometer long canal would transfer water from the Ken river and irrigate the area of Bundelkhand. Now there are also various issues associated with this project or various problems faced during this project. Let us understand what were the problems which were faced during this project. The first and foremost problem which faced during the completion of this project was environmental clearance. Environmental clearance was particularly difficult because of this Panna Tiger Reserve, and because of the dam it would have submerged approx 90 square kilometer of that particular area. Thus, environmental clearance due to this Panna Reserve became one of the hindrances during this project. The second issue which cropped up was protest from local residents around Panna Tiger Reserve as they feared submersion of their land. The third thing which affected this project was high cost. As you can see also in the news that again this concept of cost escalation is causing problem for completion of this particular project. 10 years ago, the estimated cost for this project was around rupees 9,000 crore, but as of now the project cost around 18,000 crore, and this price can rise with respect to completion of this project. As you can also see in the news, it reads Ken-Betwa project may see delay and cost escalation. So this is what this news is all about, cost escalation. And with further delay in the project, the cost may also rise. The fourth issue which cropped up was interstate coordination. In this case, between the states of UP and MP. However, as of now, the two states have decided to resolve their issues and go ahead with this project. Only time will tell how the central government, with the help of the state governments of UP and MP, face the challenges and provide solution towards completion of this interlinking of Ken and Betwa, which will also help the drought region of Bundelkhand. Now this news is particularly important because it relates to a very important topic of interlinkages of river water. A simple question in prelims can be asked that Ken-Betwa interlinkages relates to which of the following two states? So the answer would be UP and MP. Another question which may be asked with respect to their direction, as in which is east or west of which. For example, they can be asked Betwa is in the east of Ken or the west side of Ken. Now you will be able to provide answer to these preliminary questions. And for mains, questions can be asked on Panna Tiger Reserve, the entire concept of interlinkages, and they can also ask you that in order to achieve quicker interlinkages programs, what solution should be provided or what solution should the central government with the coordination of state government should come up with. Now we move on to the next news. That is on page number 6. It reads stalemate at WTO. Now this news is about the WTO Ministerial Conference which recently held in Buenos Aires, that is in Argentina. First of all, let us understand what is this concept of ministerial conferences. So this is the topmost decision-making body of the World Trade Organization. It usually meets every 2 years. It brings together all the members of WTO, which includes countries as well as custom union. For example, European Union. And this ministerial conference can take any decision on all matters under any of the multilateral trading agreements. So this editorial is with respect to the recently held ministerial conference in Buenos Aires and what are the outcomes for India or how India fared in this particular ministerial conference. Let's understand some of the basic issues associated with this particular meeting. The ministerial meeting at Buenos Aires in Argentina ended in a stalemate as the countries got divided into two distinct lines, namely industrial lines and developing lines. Needless to say that India belonged to the developing lines. So both these group of countries pursued their own interest or their own strategic interest. And at this WTO ministerial meeting, let us understand few of the issues which were associated with the developing nations and how India in a way could see some of the positives through this meeting. So as said, India is seeing this meeting as a partial success. Why partial? Because it could not pursue some of its agendas but also did not allow the industrial nations or the developed nations to pursue some of theirs. So let's understand some of the basic things where India scored some brownie points. India and like-minded developing countries wanted a permanent solution for public stockpiling of food for their food security purposes. However, the developed nations did not allow this permanent solution to proceed as they saw this concept of food security as a threat to themselves. However, with this respect, the peace clause in the agreement still remains. Under this clause, the developed countries shall not lodge a complaint against a developing country with respect to subsidies to meet their food security needs. Thus, this peace clause can be considered as one of the major achievements of India as the developed nation could not remove this concept of peace clause, and as of now India can provide subsidies through the Food Security Act for it millions of people who still require food. As we have mentioned earlier, that this ministerial meet got divided into two lines. Basically, the industrial lines, that is the developed nations, as well as countries who belong to the developing group. Now, this the failure of these industrial countries to fast track e-commerce talk and commitment that reduction in fishing subsidies shall not be discussed until the next ministerial meeting, which is to be held in the year 2019. Thus, these two failure of the industrial nations can be perceived as partial success by India. Now, these industrial countries were also keen to move forward from development, which was the focus of discussion of Doha round in 2001. These industrial nations were keen to move ahead with various other development schemes, which was the focus of Doha round of negotiation of 2001. However, the developing countries, countries said that first the commitment of Doha round should be fulfilled before moving on to further development process. Thus, this clash between these two resulted in a stalemate of the 11th Ministerial Conference at Buenos Aires. The United States, said that it wanted to clarify the understanding of the word development because, according to the United States of America, WTO members were using this concept of development to get exemptions from certain rules of WTO. This move was primarily aimed at China and countries like India. Thus, in this respect, US also issued a joint statement with European Union and Japan on trade distortion practices primarily aimed at China. On this, the developing countries, namely India and China, submitted a proposal to end trade distorting farm subsidies of Western or developed nations. India, on its behalf, argued that its GDP may be rising, but there are still millions of people in India who live in abject poverty, and without food security, their nutritional needs cannot be fulfilled. Thus, India ensured that its sovereign right to provide subsidies for food security was not compromised by WTO members, or mainly the industrial nations. This news is important with respect to decisions taken at the WTO ministerial meet and its implications with respect to decisions on various issues, particularly with respect to subsidies, with respect to food. A mains question can be asked on this, asking what were the outcomes of the 11th WTO ministerial meet at Buenos Aires and how far India fared, or did India lose something, or India had also benefits from this particular meeting. So I am sure you will be able to answer this particular topic. Now let's move on to the next news. Now we move on to page number 13. Here the news reads, Center raises duty on electronic items. Now this news is important particularly with respect to Make in India program. So what does the news says? The news says that the Ministry of Finance has raised import duty on certain items from 10% to 15% and on other products like monitors, microwaves, lamps, etc. from 10% to 20%. Now, why the government has increased import duty? Let us understand. It will boost domestic manufacturing within the country. The increased custom duty will also generate revenue for the government, and with increased manufacturing, it will also lead to more job creation. Thus, with this concept, the government of India has decided to raise import duty on certain electronic items. Now, what are the expected effects of such a raise? Let's understand. Could prompt manufacturer in other industry segments to push for similar protection from imports. Increase in customs duty, the price of the products might increase initially, but in the long run, after domestic manufacturing starts, the overall price will soon stabilize. However, it cannot be ruled out that there would be a sudden increase in price of certain electronic items which are imported in the country. This scheme will also help domestic mobile manufacturing within India, as it has been observed that 8 out of 10 mobiles sold in the year 2017 were domestically manufactured. It is only expensive phones like Apple which might get affected. Apple has recently asked a number of tax incentives from the government of India. However, the government of India is not very much willing to provide tax incentives. And with this increase in custom duty, we are going to see a rise of price on such phones which are imported within the country of India. Thus, this move by the government of India may lead to two conditions. Either it will see an extreme rise of price in the Apple phones, or they'll start assembling more in India. So effectively, this scheme to raise import duty is aimed at increasing manufacturing or increasing domestic manufacturing within India in order to boost the concept of Make in India, which will also provide revenue for the government as well as provide job creation. Thus, this news becomes important from UPSC point of view, so as to understand the effect of increase in import duty and how it affects domestic manufacturing within the country. With this, we come to an end to today's newspaper. Let's move on to the question for the day.